The government's latest figures show fewer people are collecting a main benefit in Dunedin than this time last year. Cabinet Minister Michael Woodhouse says that's a positive result of welfare reforms, and he joins us to talk about that as well as his year ahead in Parliament. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca. Happy New Year to you.
And same to you. What is the drop in benefits locally?
Well, 269 working age Dunedinites who were on a benefit a year ago now no longer are. And that's across the range of benefits that we have available, sole parent support, job seeker support and sickness benefits. So I think that's a really good signal.
Why do you think the number has dropped?
Well, Work and Income have intensified their case management of working age beneficiaries, working with them closely on what their needs are, the barriers to getting back to work. And I think that's had a significant impact in joining them up with the jobs that are available and growing.
Do you want to see more residents of benefits?
Absolutely. Look, I think it's everybody wants to be independent of the state and self-sufficient. And it's a very, very difficult life on a benefit. We know that. We provide that support, but I think there's also that obligation to make sure that they have the tools that they need to be able to get back into work.
So you would say that the recent welfare reforms are having a positive effect?
Oh, no doubt about that, and we're seeing that right across the board. The economy does have an impact, obviously, in providing the opportunities for work. But for example, we have nearly half the number of teenage parents on a parental support benefit than we did 8 or 9 years ago, and I think that's a really positive step.
Are further changes planned for the welfare system?
Oh, look, I think this year what you'll see are a couple of things, more around social development than welfare. What we want is to make sure that government departments are all working together to identify the barriers to independence, and they're quite multifaceted. They're health issues, they are the right education for people, identification of what trades are in short supply and then directing our young into them. Certainly there's higher job seekers in our 15 to 24 age group than we're comfortable with, so we'll focus on that. The other area in social development, of course, is the report into the child, youth and family. I think we'll see some changes there this year as well.
What portfolios are you focusing on this year?
Well, it's a big year. I've picked up the revenue portfolio from last year as well as holding on to workplace relations and immigration. So it's going to be a busy year. I think we'll see some changes to tax simplification and continuing that program. We've got a refugee quota to support, and of course locally we're going to be welcoming refugees into Dunedin. So I think it's going to be a pretty busy year on the political front.
And how are you hoping to make a difference in those areas?
Well, look, there's a big program of work, particularly refining the immigration policy to make sure that it's fit for purpose, that we've got the right people coming in to fill skill shortages that we have. But also in tax policy, nobody wants to pay it, but everybody wants to have an efficient system and a fair system. And locally, of course, there's a couple of big issues bubbling away. The Dunedin hospital plans, which I'm quite close to the Minister of Health on, cycleways, tourism opportunities that are quite significant. I think it's going to be a positive year.
What are some of the biggest issues for the government at the moment?
Oh, look, I think continuing the path of growing in the economy. You're seeing a very interesting and robust debate around trade and free trade. We certainly believe that trading amongst ourselves is not going to make us wealthier, that we do need to connect with the world, as we've done for generations now. And yeah, continuing good health education and law reform policies, they'll be our priorities.
And of course our viewers will notice the pin on your left lapel.
Yes, I have to say I've been wearing it before the Prime Minister started this year. In fact, it was my choice before the first referendum.
What do you think will be the outcome of the second referendum?
Look, I think it's going to be close, but my sense is that the mood is changing towards the alternative flag, and there'll be a lot of profile and publicity about it between now and the second referendum in March. My pick is that it'll go 60-40 in favour of change.
Michael Woodhouse, Cabinet Minister, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Rebecca.